A recent World Bank report has raised serious concerns about the rising poverty levels in the country, revealing that a staggering 75.5% of rural dwellers live below the poverty line. This statistics is alarming, and many Nigerians are wondering, are we getting poorer? The report's findings have sparked a national conversation about the state of our economy and the well-being of our citizens. Now, as we struggle with economic challenges, inflation, and unemployment, many Nigerians are finding it increasingly difficult to make ends meet. The question on everyone's mind at this point in time is, what is going wrong? Is it the government's policies, or are there deeper structural issues at play? Now, before we get to have you call in and join in, before we open up the phone lines, let's take a look at this clip.
Nigeria is a success. The economy is turning around. It has bent the corner. When we started, it was challenging. I almost run away from watching the news or reading the newspapers. I just use courage and stay put on my decisions, believing that the ability of a leader to take a decision at the right time is the hallmark of leadership. We took it, we stayed with it, and it will be rewarding. It is already bearing fruit.
All right, that there was a president there speaking, and there's something I would love to throw a light on a bit before we start opening the phone lines. It says 75.5% of rural Nigerians are living below the poverty line. Now, if I want to describe what living below the poverty line is, I'll say it means that individuals and households lack sufficient income to meet the minimum standard of living necessary for basic human needs, such as food, shelter, healthcare, and education. So they're saying that 75.5% of Nigerians lack what it means. Households lack what it means to live the minimum standard of living, the basic, which is food, shelter, healthcare, and education. What does that say about the supposed economic reform we're putting in? What does that say about the country Nigeria? What does that say about our economic future? You know, Hauwa, what's your thought on this morning?
To be honest, that is very devastating when more than half of the rural population, rural dwellers, are living below the poverty line. And for it to be that means people are in dire need. People are in devastating situations whereby they cannot help themselves to lift themselves up. And the question is, what is being done? There has been promises and promises and promises of a better day, a better future, a better tomorrow, a better economy, where the Nigerian will be able to have an increased purchasing power. But then where are we?
You know, and there's this thing that came to one question to our Nigerians. Is it just a case of this economy, or it's this administration, or it's been an overtime structural failure like we introduced before we started the show? Is it a case of structural failure or an overall issue?
Absolutely.
Now, touching a bit on structural failures, I would say that is it really just this administration, or is something that has been existing? Let's take this call.
And it gradually grew.
Let's take the call from Mr. Eze. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, go ahead with your thoughts, Mr. Eze.
The analysis is true. And even the blind can see in Nigeria today. And the deaf can hear. So it's not something to argue. So many people are suffering. I know in my street, I knew about almost 5 people that have given up the car that they have been using for long. Sold it. There is some people that has car before. Today they are using motorcycle. Some people that has motorcycle have given it up. Just last year in my street, about 3 people sold off their houses built by them, and then end up going to be a tenant in another person's house. So there is so many. It's not something to argue. The only thing we are pleading to government is create a enable environment so that the Nigerians will survive. Nigerians, we are not lazy people. Create a enable environment for us to struggle. Pay NEPA bill, no way. Go to market to buy something, no way. There is no money and everything is going up. So it's not something to argue. The thing is true. Nigeria, they are getting poorer and getting poorer. Not to, as I'm talking to you, there is some family that from morning till night, mama and papa didn't know on what they will feed on. Coupled with insecurity, that is, all these things create poverty to people. So many people have chased away, like in Benue State, that there is some community that if you go to that community, you won't find anybody there. How can they survive? Let me stop so far and give room to other people to contribute. But Nigeria, we are getting poorer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arize there. You know, he said that the country, things are difficult for people. And you see over your working and you're earning your salary, sometimes over 80% of your income goes to just food.
And do you believe that the biggest issue that has been bedeviling in Nigeria is that the income stays the same, but then at the end of the day, the prices, inflation is rising, but the income stays the same. So obviously the purchasing power is not going to be the same. What you could afford a couple of years ago will not be the same thing and will not be able to be afforded by the average Nigerian. And I would always say the average Nigerian is under the poverty level.
Indeed. Do we have a caller on the line? Good morning.
Good morning, Lilian, Ogazi. Good morning, Hauwa. This is Shetima Yakudima calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. How is Maiduguri this morning?
Maiduguri, it's okay, we are fine.
All right, go ahead with your thought.
Lilian, honestly speaking, what makes me to surprise is the question that you people raise on the screen. Do you believe that Nigerians are getting poorer? Lilian, honestly speaking, I can see the face of Hauwa. Even Hauwa can testify. How many reports that you show people are eating out of just on leaves, on grasses? People are eating waste. You know, Lilian, even an animal in this country knows that things have changed. Things are changed to worse. People are feeling the pain. Even an animal knows that. You see, the issue is even these indices that they are giving is not real. It's beyond that. It's beyond that, honestly speaking. People are suffering. Things have been worse. Things are going upside down. A Nigerian, Lilian, a deputy director or a chief in the public service, in the payroll of the federal government, cannot maintain his family with his salary. Which poverty are you talking about? What poverty are you talking about? A deputy director, his salary cannot satisfy him for a month. It's very, very unfortunate. A director cannot pull his car to run in Abuja with his salary. His salary, I'm not talking about just the other means, but his salary cannot pull his car to run activities in Abuja. Talk less of other. You see, it's very unfortunate. We are suffering, honestly speaking. Everyone knows. Not even the international community. They all knows. We have get nickname, rich country with poor people. This is our name now. So the suffering is beyond imagination. It's true. It's true that we are suffering. And now, if you look at it very well, the crisis of the society, there is that middle class that we had before. Now it's rich, whether you are rich or you are poor. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. People now, they are not talking about the education, health, blah blah blah. No, what they are talking about is what they will get to eat. What they will eat. That's the main concern of the people nowadays. Talk less of saving things. It is still of the past. Now, no longer. I don't think if there is any Nigerian that is thinking about to save things, there is no way. You cannot save. That's the truth of the matter. As my brother just dropped the phone says, how many people before they are using their car, but now they don't have the car. If you come to Maiduguri, you will see people are riding bicycles. A rich person before, he's riding bicycles today. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate. And the worst of the thing is, this government, they are running what we call economic government. You cannot run government for gain purpose. You run government as a government to relieve, to bring relief to the people. That's what government has been running. But you cannot run government in profit making. In India, you can surprise somebody have worked for 35 years, but his entitlement is hanging. Some of the retirees, they are collecting 8,000 naira in a month. Some they are collecting 4,000 naira in a month. I can show you people here in Maiduguri who are collecting 4,000 naira. What 4,000 naira can do for you in a month? After serving your country for 35 years. It's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But we are praying for God's, for God's intervention. It was only God will save us in this country. But we have lose confidence on all our government. All our officials, we have lose confidence on them. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you, Shatima. God bless Nigeria.
There's a really factual thing that he highlighted to see that what someone could be able to afford a couple of years ago is something that cannot be afforded at this particular time, where he said as well, there is no middle class in the country. It's either you are rich or you are poor. It's either you can afford or you cannot afford. And then for people to think of what to afford or what to purchase or what to buy, the only thing that is on mind is to be able to put food on the table, which is one of the most important things, which is the way you get sustenance, but then it is something of difficulty for you to be able to afford that as well, living on 4,000 naira in a month. All right, we'll take our next caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. I believe we lost a caller.
If you're still there, do well to call back. We'll also have WhatsApp. The WhatsApp lines are open, so do well to send in WhatsApp messages, and we'll be here to take them in the course of the show. Now, one thing that piqued my attention on this is the fact that this didn't start today.
Exactly.
Let's take the next call. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Can you hear me? All right. Do well to call us back, and we'll be here to take your thoughts. This didn't start today. This has been an accumulation of bad governance, policies that have not been inconsistent policies.
Absolutely.
This has been years of neglect It didn't start today. It didn't start in the last 3 or 4 administration.
Absolutely.
In the 1970s, we had a government that was dependent on oil. Oh, we're an oil-rich nation. We have the money, and that was coming. That's fine. But the world is beginning to move away from that gradually. The world is beginning to move into, all cleaner energy. Oil is still needed, no doubt. But because of that dependence on oil, there was neglect in other facets of the economy, like manufacturing,
Absolutely.
like agriculture, which are necessary to also develop a
and
nation.
mining as well.
And mining.
So there are different facets that could be utilized to enrich the country, to boost the economy. Focusing on it would aid in taking the people out of that rut that they're in.
All right, we have a next caller from Oyo. I didn't get you. Falaye from Oyo. Good morning, Falaye. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Not Falaye, Faleye.
Falaye. Thank you so much for teaching me how to pronounce your name. All right. How is Oyo?
Oyo is fine. Oyo is cool.
All right. Falaye. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I will just want to make a little contribution to the program.
Yeah, we're here to listen.
On the aspect of saying Nigerians are getting poorer, we need to look inward, not to look at the federal government alone, because federal government alone cannot do it. But what our state governors, what are they doing in terms of the allocation they are collecting from the federal government? Are they making the citizen poorer, or they are making the citizen to be rich? Are they doing infrastructural developments? The money they are collecting during the Buhari regime, I'm sorry to say, the money they are collecting now is ×3 of what they were collecting during Buhari regime. That means, let's say they are collecting 10 million naira during Buhari regime, they are collecting about 30 million naira. What are they doing with the money? Sometimes the labor movement will be protesting against the federal government. Have they protested against the state governments that are making lives miserable for the citizens of the state? Has Nigerian Labour Congress ever confronted any state governor for not paying the salaries, for not doing infrastructural developments? So why are we now facing the federal government when the state governments have not done what they ought to do? Now, the federal government wanted the local governments to be collecting direct allocation from the federal government so that there will be development at the local level. These governors blocked it. They don't want the federal government to do it. So those are the factors that are contributing to why Nigerians are getting poorer. I could remember in those days when I was in my village, you see how the local governments are tying the roads, they are doing a lot of things in the local government. So even the local government is very busy. But now, go to local governments, you will discover that most of the local governments are ghosts. They are just graveyards. You will not see staff around there because the allocation is not coming to them. So now, I'm not talking about the federal government. Why can't they talk about the state governors? And apart from the allocation they're collecting from the federal government, they are still borrowing money. And what have they done with all those things? So there is a saying in Yoruba that amukun eru ewo onisalelewo ewuke. That means when you have a problem, you are looking at the top. You are not looking at the down. So we need to ask questions from our state governors. What have they done? Let them come up. Is there any state governor that has ever published how he spent a year allocation? And they are collecting this money, they are not doing anything to the people. So why are we not blaming the federal government? No, I'm not a politician. And I don't have anything to do with politicians. To hell with all But we have to say the truth. Because the Bible says, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. We have not said the truth. The governors are there.
All right,
so the
Fally.
governors are not doing anything. We are blaming the federal government. So why are we not blaming the federal government? Why are we not blaming the federal government? Federal government has not done this. Federal government has not done that. We were talking about the state. And they have crippled the local governments. They turned the local government to their family empire.
All right, Fally. Thank you so much. No,
so
Fally.
I'm beat out by blaming.
We've lost Fally there. Thank you so much, Fally. Fally has raised a very crucial point. There are structures to governance. You have local government for a reason. You have state government for a reason. If the federal government is implementing a policy, why are we not holding if the federal government is implementing a policy, why are we not holding the state government accountable? States can generate their own IGR and create an enabling environment from the state level with resources that has been given to them and the ability to generate IGR. You go to state, we're talking about it right here before we started, that some state capital don't even look, they look like some villages. Exactly. Some state capitals are not even properly developed. You have states with natural resources that could be used. Cross River State, for one, you want to talk about pineapple and cocoa production, you throw it to Cross River State. Akwa Ibom, yes, they have oil. You have so many states in Nigeria that have things they could generate within them that they could use to export. Why not utilize it? We have local government chairmen. Why are we not having grassroots development? With that, even insecurity can be combated because they are closer to the people than the state or the federal government. Absolutely. So it's that's why I ask: is it just the federal? Is it, or it's a deep structural issues that started way back that needs to be addressed? And when I also come to that deep structural issue, I also talk about the Nigerians' attitude as well, because it's not just the people, it's also the Nigerians. Nigerians are not speaking up. The few ones who are speaking up, like their voices are not go anywhere, but you need to be unified to speak up and hold the government accountable.
Present a united, strong front.
We're here, and I was having a conversation with someone a few days back, and I said, I really don't know what we expect the youth to do in Nigeria at this point in time. Let's talk to Awal. Good morning, Awal.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Awal. How is Zamfara this morning?
Oh, Zamfara is extremely hot, about 34 degrees.
Oh.
I believe we're waiting all over.
Oh, sorry about that. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Sorry?
Go ahead with your thoughts. Let's hear your contributions.
Okay, my contribution is that I'm in support of Mr. Falaye's contribution that has just spoken, please.
All right.
Yeah, believe me, the federal government has to be blamed in some aspects. Likewise, the state governments across the nation also take their blame. Likewise, the local governments, though the local governments are yet to be autonomous as the federal government demanded from the state governments.
All right.
Frankly speaking, the draconian policies or the unpopular policies of the federal government contribute immensely toward the unfortunate situation, poor situation of Nigerians and Nigeria. Likewise, because, for instance, the withdrawal of the fuel subsidy is one of the things that is contributing to the unfortunate situation that Nigerians find themselves in. Yes, I agree with Shalaye, who said that the state governments receive the generational allocation double or more than double, triple or even quadruple number of what they used to receive previously, and you cannot see what they do with it, especially in the area of rural infrastructure, roads, networking, potable water supply, electricity supply, and so many others like education and other things, and agriculture. I come from a village that I normally visit at weekends, but I no longer visit there with regards to security issue, especially here in the first state. I'm from Ansado. Ansado is the worst hit community in the country. The worst hit as far as banditry is concerned. I could no longer visit there as I used to. Well, that is aside, but our road is terribly bad. If I should send you some pictures of some videos of how the road is, you would certainly sympathize with the whole communities around that area. We do not have good roads. We do not have good schools. No electricity in the whole area, ranging from Gusau, the state capital, down to our boundary with the Kaduna State, Niger State, Kebbi State, and Katsina State. My area is surrounded by 4 states, but all the same, and we produce a lot of grains and food crops that the states use. But all the same, we are seen as just neglected and marooned, as if we are not Nigerians. So this is just a mention of few, because most of the communities are equally suffering on the same faith. So I feel the federal government needs to do so many other things in order to cushion the effects of these economic hardship, likewise the state government, because they receive a lot of money from the federation account.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts. That was really insightful, especially for someone that's coming from a space whereby, as he said, is war-ridden and unstable, and it would definitely be one of the places that would be under the poverty level. So,
all right, let's take our WhatsApp messages quickly. We have the first WhatsApp message from Nathaniel. Nathaniel from Jos says, Nigerians are getting poorer day by day because there is no consistency in tackling the issue of insecurity. No businessman or woman will want to invest his or her resources in an environment that is not safe. Farmers can't go to farm anymore, which causes inflation in the country because of fear of the unknown. I'm not saying the Nigerian armed forces are not trying, but it's not enough. Insecurity, it's like a full bag. You know, there's insecurity, there's food inflation, there's issue. It's a full bag of everything put together.
Absolutely.
We still have a couple of WhatsApp messages and we'll take them as a display on the screen.
all right, we have another WhatsApp message. Nigeria's poverty problem is beyond human comprehension. Nigerian electorates did not bargain for increase in poverty, which is entrenched by the government. The welfare of the masses have been neglected. The masses are getting poorer, while the few privileged are over-accumulating wealth. The suffering of the masses is on the high side. The cost of living is high. And Nigerians are walking corpses. Nigerians are only surviving but not living. We must radicalize the system so as to make life better for all Nigerians. Thank you. This is from Comrade Nansat from Jos. It is a difficult situation for, I would say, a lot of Nigerians where living in poverty and each and every day trying to figure out what to or how to get a form of survival, so something to suffice for the day. So we have another message.
This is from Mabington Mark Bello from Port Harcourt. He says, majority of Nigerians are getting poorer by the second. And the annoying part is that the persons who are actually happy about it, because it's an easy way to control and manipulate the people during elections. May God Almighty deliver this great country indeed. You know, like I said, in as much as we're saying there are persons who are happy about it, it's been a deep structural issue that has happened over time.
Absolutely. We have another message. This is from Baba in Jalingo. He said, honestly, Trust TV, only sentimental individuals will see states and Buhari's era of factors to level of extreme poverty. Adeshina, the AFDB, said it all. He said, since independence, the present administration is the most negative to the Nigerian masses in terms of economic policies.
You know, when accusing an administration at this point is not enough, because if you look at it over time, we had the Vision 2020. Where was that policy? We've had several economic policies that are so inconsistent that won't be given time to actualize.
Anything better.
So it's not. Let's take the next call we have. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where
I'm calling from Delta State, Agbo.
Good morning. Your name, please.
Reverend Peter Okechukwu.
Thank you, Reverend Peters, all the way from Agbo. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes. Please, all I want to say that the issue of whether there is poverty, do you believe there is poverty in Nigeria, or maybe do you believe that Nigerians are getting poorer? That is the truth. Some persons are saying that blame state government or blame local government or federal government. That's not the question. The question is, do you believe that Nigerians are getting poorer? Yes. We know that Nigerians are getting poorer. We all know. So we're not talking about who is the cause. There is a reality that we are getting poorer. Like in my place now, some of us, I know some of us that have about 3 cars. We cannot even be able to fuel even 1 car now. We are all going on public transport, number one. And if you want to fuel your car now to travel like to the state headquarters, you're going to spend more than 30,000 naira before you can fuel your car. And we have that kind of money. Now tell me a civil servant that they fix his salary at the minimum wage, or maybe he's receiving 100,000. After fueling his car and go to state capital, what will he use to feed his family for the rest of the month? How much is house rent? We're talking about the issue of poverty. The poverty in Nigeria is too alarming. So alarming that everybody knows that if you now in your office now, where you are now, you know how much transport you pay for it and get to your office. How much is your salary? How much do you earn? If you think to check what you are spending now and to check what you are earning, my sisters, how can you be able to make it? Sometimes we are blaming police. They say police are collecting bribes, this and that. If you check police salary, a police that have up to, let's say, only 3 kids, take care of his family, pay his house rent, pay for his transport to go to work and come back. At least if somebody is in a salary, receiving, let me say, 70,000 or 100,000 in a month, you are paying transport from your house, your working place. You are paying 500 and going and coming back, which is 1,000, maybe in a day. Check it in a day, 1,000 in a day. In 30 days is 30,000. Then check it, that man is feeding every day. Maybe in the morning he eats 1,000 naira. In the afternoon he eats 1,000 naira. In the evening he managed to eat 1,000 naira. Now that's 3,000 naira a day into 30 days. How can that person survive with a salary of 100,000? Why his transport alone and feeding alone is 4,000 under management? So how can he survive? That is why sometimes they say some people take bribe, some people say that our system is corrupt and is bad. It's not sure whether federal government or state government. We know that, let us understand that Nigerians are getting poorer every day by day. It's not like this before. The issue of sentiment, trying to cover your tribe or your presence in the office. Let us ask the government to put this in order. Our life system is not working. The road is not working. The reason why Nigerians accept the issue of subsidy removal, they carry fuel from 200 naira to 1,300 naira. Who accepted it, thinking that if they remove the subsidy, that this country will change, this will come in order. Now, tell me a single benefit of carrying fuel from 200 naira now to 1,300. Now it's now 1,000 naira now. Nobody takes the meter. We are buying. Then how are we saying that it's not the fault of federal government? They are supposed to tell us it's state government, state government. When the head is corrupt, other places cannot work.
All right. Do we still have, I think we've lost the caller there, but he has spoke about not just blaming the federal government,
Absolutely.
but saying that it is. But then again, who are the people that are meant to lead? Let's take the final WhatsApp message this morning. He says Nigerian economy faces significant challenges, primarily stemming from a lack of effective utilization of the local currency in domestic business and the insufficient adoption of homegrown products in everyday consumption. Many companies are unable to operate at full capacity due to substandard electricity supply, with 90% reportedly struggling as a result of inadequate power. Furthermore, the political leadership has been slow to empower the youth or establish skill acquisition centers, leaving much of the population without the tools needed for economic participation. Insecurity looms in northern states such as Benue, Plateau, Kissimmee, among others, creating an atmosphere of fear that deters agricultural engagement, a sector crucial for economic stability. The World Bank has urged the Nigerian government to implement reforms aimed at protecting vulnerable population and rising inflation, and to take more proactive action. Therefore, it is imperative for the government to combat banditry and kidnapping, enhance its electricity infrastructure, and foster an environment conducive to sustainable development. That is from Mohammed Usman, a journalist from Jalingo. Thank you very much, Mohammed. You know, when he spoke about investment in the young people, before we quickly go, the first thing that came to my head yesterday was that what examples do youth have to look up to? Except for those who have built their own personal resilience to say, okay, I want to be a good person. In terms of leadership, what examples have been set for young people to look up to? In terms of advocacy, what examples have been set for young people to look up to? We've had previous administrations since independence, and we've had our fathers and the elders keep quiet and watch this build over time. No doubt, let's give credit to the advocacy that has taken place, but has it pushed enough for young people to say, oh,
and is it an enabling environment
is it
for that to thrive?
All right, they are saying we have to round up, so let us round up.